Thank you for joining us. Good morning. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
And together we're Backyard Musings broadcasting live Apple Valley.
Still the Science and Technology channel.
Yesterday was kind of a weird one, huh? Olo. The color Olo.
Oz and Olo. And the Emerald Green City.
Yeah. Oropouche virus. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Oropouche virus is more common and dangerous than believed, especially in warm, rainy regions. Experts recommend insect protection and more research on pregnancy risks. Like dengue and Zika, the Oropouche virus causes a febrile illness. Recent evidence suggests that infection during pregnancy may harm unborn children. That's like Zika does that. Now, researchers at Charité Universitätsmediz in Berlin have found that the virus is far more widespread across Latin America than previously thought. Their findings, published in the Lancet Infectious Diseases, that's funny, Lancet, when you lance like a toenail. Lancet Infectious Diseases on April 14, 2025, also indicate that climate plays a key role on the virus's transmission. Would you like to know more?
So, for all of those of you out there listening, this has got to be one of the main reasons why we need to shut down the border, secure the border, right? Because these diseases, people coming in, not just from Latin America,
but can it spread human to human?
I don't know.
Is like mosquito to human.
Well, I don't know, but maybe they bring in mosquitoes. Maybe they've got mosquitoes in their bag or whatever. You know, these things are pretty tiny, right?
Mosquito trafficking.
Yeah, you never know. They're not doing it on purpose, but you just never know. First identified in Latin America in the 1950s, Oropouche virus has been considered relatively rare, with most countries reporting only a handful of cases each year. However, a comprehensive new study led by Professor Jan Felix Drexler, head of the Virus Epidemiology Lab at the Charité Institute of Virology, reveals that its true prevalence is significantly underestimated. Oropouche virus causes nonspecific symptoms such as fever, chills, headache, pain in the limbs, and in some cases, nausea and skin rashes.
That's a Monday for me.
I was going to say, this is like side effects from most pharmaceuticals these
Monday.
days, right? For a long time, the disease was considered to be predominantly mild, and reports of more severe bouts, including meningitis, which is not a good thing to have,
right,
were rare.
For reasons that remain unknown, infection in Latin America could be absorbed beyond 20 since last 2023. 2 deaths have been reported in young, healthy women, and there are several cases in which an infection during pregnancy appears to have caused miscarriage or malformations in unborn babies.
Wow. In their study, the research team examined over 9,400 blood samples collected from healthy and diseased people in Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, Ecuador, and Peru between 2001 and 2022.
The main players in South America, right?
Yeah, and that's a big study, right?
Yeah.
And for a long time. Antibodies against Oropouche virus indicating a prior infection with the pathogen were present in roughly 6% of samples across all territories.
Oh, gosh. So they've had it already.
Yeah.
Huh. However, the researchers identified considerable regional variations. While antibodies against the virus are present in an average of 2% of samples from Costa Rica, they appeared in 5% of samples from Ecuador and over 10% of samples from the Amazon region.
That would be Brazil, right?
Yeah. The innards of Brazil.
Yeah.
People at higher altitudes were less likely to have experienced a prior Oropouche infection than those at warmer, lower altitudes. A comparison of blood samples from different years also indicates fluctuations in infection rates from year to year.
Huh. Well, what drives infections? In an effort to find out, researchers deployed machine learning techniques.
AI.
To analyze whether an association exists between Oropouche infections and various environmental and demographic factors. Their analysis found that climatic changes such as rain and constant temperatures appear to exert the greatest influence on Oropouche virus infections.
Well, quote, alongside the dengue and chikungunya viruses, Oropouche virus is probably the most common virus transmitted by insect bites in Latin America, emphasizes Drexler. He recommends taking systematic measures to prevent insect bites in order to protect against infection when visiting the region. Quote, when it comes to protecting against Oropouche virus and also against other tropical viruses like dengue and Zika, and probably malaria too.
Well, I was going to say, didn't Ebola start down in South America?
No, I thought it was Africa.
Or was it Africa? Okay.
Yeah. It's worth wearing long clothes and using insect repellents such as DEET or icaridin, says the virologist. Mosquito nets can also offer protection if their mesh is sufficiently fine. I guess that's when you're sleeping.
Okay. The virus is primarily transmitted by flies commonly known as no-see-ums, tiny mosquitoes.
I don't see them. No-see-ums.
Tiny mosquitoes up to 3 millimeters long, which are able to pass through the mesh of conventional mosquito nets.
3 millimeters long.
So yeah, you can have a couple of these in your suitcase, right?
Yeah.
Professor Drexler recommends that pregnant women consult a doctor before spending time in at-risk regions for as long as the high infection rate persists and until more is known about the effects of Oropouche or on unborn babies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this could be the next pandemic. Who knows? I mean, it just,
at least it's sweeping through South America.
yeah, we need you probably weren't living in California, but they used to spray parts of Los Angeles. They would notify people in Los Angeles.
Oh, they did that when I was a kid in Michigan.
Spray day. Yeah, so you'd have to bring in your dog bowls and your dogs and your animals and stuff, and maybe your kids if you wanted to. And they would spray this stuff over the city. I wonder how much harm that did. Just, I don't know. What are you going to do?
What do you do? Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to get rid of the bugs. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you in the afternoon.
Yeah, stay away from those no-see-ums. Take care, everyone. Thank you.